Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for Living Local. I'm Ashley Meservy here with Rob Fowler, and we are live from Brittle Bank Park today.
And if you hear dogs barking all around, that's because we're right in front of the practice pool for the dock dogs. They've got the real competition going on behind, but it's been really fun to watch all the competitors, the competition, and everybody trying to get their dog to jump into the water. So.
I'm obsessed with it, y'all, because I'm telling you, Rob and I, every once in a while, will get just splashed with water, but then there's these other dogs who are like, I'd rather not.
I see what I need, but I'm going to stay up here on dry land.
And they'll make sure that the buoy or the toy will be closer to the dock, and the dogs are still like, not so much today.
I'll tell you what, I know the water's cold. The air temperature is probably in the mid-50s here, but the sun's trying to come out, Ashley, trying to come out, and it will, and we'll talk about the weather in just a few minutes.
Well, what we need to talk about right now, though, is I have been doing all of these outdoor segments. I'm telling you, Rob, I am obsessed with my job, especially right now, because I've been going all over the low country, just experiencing all that it has to offer. And I recently went out with Captain John Irwin. Now, let me tell you about this. When it comes to fly fishing, this is the expert on fly fishing, okay? Every person I asked, all the local charter captains were like, I said, I want to go fly fishing. And they were like, Captain John Irwin is who you need to go with. So anyway, we went out and he told me, he said, Ashley, now you need to understand that a lot of times you need to practice on land before you do this.
Okay.
But I was like, I need to get out on a boat. I want to and of course it's like go big or go home, right?
That's right.
So anyway, I went out there and you just have to see this to believe it. I mean, it was a little difficult, but go ahead and check it out.
Been in Charleston for 20 years. We've had a family place at Kiowa and grew up fishing in the area, and you know, I've traveled all around the world fly fishing and ended up here in right about 2000.
So why fly fishing and not traditional fishing?
Well, I've always done all kinds of fishing, but fly fishing in my when I graduated from high school, I went to Montana when I was 18 years old, and that's where it really kind of, I had done a good bit before I went, and when I got there, that's when it really kind of took hold and the obsession took over.
So like, talk about like where it's brought you to this point.
You know, all the things that I dreamed of doing growing up, traveling places and seeing things. Fly fishing is such a travel destination type sport, and I love to get out there and go to new places and see new things. And it's just been, I can't believe I finally have ended up where I have and had the opportunity to travel to some of the most beautiful places and fish there. Fly fishing takes you to a lot of pretty places.
So where does Charleston stack up when it comes to some of the other really amazing places you've been?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of people always ask, I get that a lot, where's your favorite place to fish? And this is my favorite place to fish.
And why is that?
It's the beauty of it and just what it brings and the way that I know it, you know, in certain ways, and the people that I spend a lot of time with here. I've been doing it long enough now where I'm always seems to be with the same people all the time. I don't fish with a lot of new people like I used to. I fish with a lot of the same folks day in and day out, so it's really awesome to get to enjoy that with them.
And so this is your gig, like this is your full-time deal, right?
Yes. I built a lot of my business off of teaching, so I've been with a lot of beginners since day one that have been with me for a really long period of time, and all the way to people that are really experienced that I've met here. You know, Charleston has become such a melting pot, and so many people coming here for a variety of reasons, and the sport, the more and more it grows, I've met so many people coming here.
Kind of where do you see this going? I mean, let's say someone's watching this and they want to, you know, are you taking people still on lessons? Or are you pretty busy?
Of course, absolutely. Last week I do a lot of individual one-on-one lessons, and then I also teach at Hatterall's Point Tackle in Mount Pleasant at Fin to Feather. We do a class this upcoming year. We're doing the classes quarterly, so basically about every 3 months you can contact Hatterall's. That class is 9 to 1. It's kind of a much more involved, not every last thing we serve you lunch, you kind of come all day, versus I do a lot of one-on-one, and the one-on-one stuff is more like about an hour at a time, because honestly, if you've never done it before and you're swinging the rod back and forth for an hour, it's pretty tiresome. It's like learning how to swing a golf club or a lot of different other kinds of sports, you know, learning the fundamentals and progressing into actually going out and being good enough to catch fish. Usually about an hour at a time, as far as like just the casting element goes, is plenty.
So this is going to be, I'm going to look like a nightmare doing it.
You'll be surprised. All right, one more. Okay, let's let that lay for a second. One thing that we need to make sure that we don't do is get things accomplished a lot with our wrist.
I know,
go ahead and hold the rod.
So
right now we're getting the fundamentals accomplished, but we're doing it with our wrist. We want to get our forearm much more involved. So I'm going to cast with you one time. Let's just roll this out one time. All right, so here, 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 here. Much better. All right, let's let this one fall in the water. Good.
Okay.
So it feels a lot different, right?
Yeah.
So that is one thing that we do tell people when we're teaching them is don't break your wrist.
Yeah. Like tennis though, I mean, like not using your wrist
sure.
a lot.
As far as instruction goes, something works a little bit different for everybody. You know, telling somebody to keep the rod tip in a straight line path. That's one thing, hold it just for a second, that we eliminate by keeping our wrist straight, because you can watch what happens when I break my wrist. Rod goes here, back down too low, and I start creating that arcing motion again, versus if I keep my wrist, nice straight wrist.
And you're not squeezing it either, right?
No, like you're holding a bird.
Baby.
That's right. That's right.
Like you're holding,
don't put the death
holding a baby bird.
A lot of times in class, you look down and hadn't gotten to the guy at the end, and he's going like that. He's got the death grip on it. So doesn't need to be anything too intense, but keeping your wrist nice and straight.
Okay, so Rob, when I say I was struggling, but I mean, you really have to, I mean, it's a love. Like, so what I kind of, the analogy I use is, fly fishing is to bow hunting is like regular reel fishing is to traditional hunting. Does that make sense?
All I know is if you look in the dictionary and look for low country girl, Ashley Meserve's name will be right there. And that, you can't get more low country than that.
Well, thanks, Rob. When you say that, it really means something. All right, so as far as, we're going to talk about weather more, right?
Well, the sun's trying to come out, and that's kind of what we're looking forward to over the next several hours, and more sunshine. Temperatures eventually will warmer right here at Brittlebank Park on the Ashley River, so you got to expect that temperatures are going to be a little cooler with that wind coming in from the water, but we're hoping to get at least to the mid and upper 50s here at Brittlebank and lots of sunshine through. Now for tomorrow, it's going to be sunny, a cold start, and then a few more clouds on Sunday, but it will be warmer. Overall, Ashley, really, in this time in February, I don't know if you could ask for much better. It could be better, it could be worse, but I'll take what we got this weekend.
And speaking about better, I mean, he's looking fabulous today, guys. Don't you believe that?
Well, thank you.
All right, so Over Under Clothing is here. We have Brian Horn, and y'all are going to actually, talk Seaweed fashion today.
We're going to talk fashion, and I don't know if I'm the best model, but
Rob,
I'm wearing the clothes,
it.
so I feel pretty good.
All right, well, more Living Locals coming your way, so stay tuned. We're going to be right back.